I am a polio survivor. I contracted polio 3 months after the first vaccine actually came out, they came out in April of 1955. And there was such a rush, everyone wanted to get the vaccine, but they just couldn't produce it fast enough. I spent several weeks in the hospital. I was initially paralyzed from the waist down. And it was my mom, really, who I think saved my life, because I had an uncle, her brother, who contracted polio when he was 5, so she witnessed that. So she was in tune to what polio was and how quickly she needed to act upon what she was seeing. And I do like the term survivor as opposed to victim, because a person can only be a victim of a disease or a circumstance if they allow themselves to be a victim. So survivor to me talks about strength and the ability to overcome whatever the challenges are that's being thrown at you in life. And I think that's my big lesson that I've learned, is that polio doesn't define me, but in many ways it's made me who I am today. My first time outside of the country, my own country, it was in January of 2001, and I traveled to India. And I was a very shy woman from Maine. And it's a sensory overload. There's the smells, the sounds, everything. It's just a sensory overload. So in that respect, it was like, wow, here I am. And as a polio survivor, I'll never forget putting those first drops in that little child's mouth. It was a little boy. Knowing that I could have just right then changed his life and saved him. So we did a lot of things on that trip, but one of the ones that's most memorable for me was visiting a rehabilitation center. It's a little center that made braces and some prosthetics, because sometimes polio survivors become amputees as well. And we visited this center, and they paraded out a group of school children this day. And there was this one little girl who had a beautiful smile, and today I can still see that beautiful smile. And as she limped past me, I looked down at her leg shown beneath her skirt. And it was there that I saw the same heavy metal brace like I used to wear, same thin right leg, and it was quite overwhelming for me, to be honest. I'm not ashamed to say that I broke down and I cried. And as I like to tell people, I cried for her, cried for me, but I cried mostly for all the waste that polio has brought to so many for so long. But that was my defining moment, because I knew right there that I had to do all I could to prevent other children from this crippling disease. I mentioned earlier that my uncle was a polio survivor, and when I left to go on that first trip, he told me, if you can save just one child, you'll have done your job. And I could hear his voice the whole time I was on that trip. And so from then on, well, I've certainly saved more than one, and I'm still at it. Hope lies in dreams, in imagination, and in the courage of those who wish to make those dreams a reality.